Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be my September reading wrap up, and also I'm adding in some music recommendations at the end of this video because I have just discovered some Christian music that I actually like. It's been a hard road, but anyway, let's jump into the books that I read in September. The first book I read was The Curse of Morton Abbey by Clarissa Harwood. I gave this book 3.5 stars. This was labeled as Jane Eyre vibes meets The Secret Garden. I've never read The Secret Garden, so I don't know how accurate that is, but it did start out having really strong Jane Eyre vibes. Set on the moors of England, and it is about a woman who her father dies, and she had always worked and helped him. He was a solicitor, a lawyer, and she gets hired to go to this estate and help go through all of their paperwork to help the owner sell the estate. And when she shows up, the owner isn't there, but his brother is, and he is kind of locked away in his bedroom, and he's kind of creepy and strange, and there's some weird happenings going around in the manor. And so there is a lot of mystery element to this story. I really liked the vibes of the moors because that's my favorite setting. And yeah, I really loved the beginning of this book. I didn't like the end as much as the beginning, but it was still a pretty good read, and it's really good for this time of year. The next book I read was Every Hour Until Then by Gabrielle Meyer. And this is one of the best books that I have read in a long time. It was exactly what I needed. It was such a good read. It is part of her series, and I don't remember the name of the series, but I think she has like 5 books out now. I read the very first book in the series, and I honestly didn't love it. I thought it was okay. It has dual timelines, and I liked one timeline more than the other, but I wasn't even sure if I was going to continue on with the series. And then when I heard the premise of this book, I thought, oh no, I've got to read this. So this is dual timeline, and it is about a woman who she's kind of living 2 lives, and one day she is in one year, and the next day when she wakes up, she's in another year. And in her later years, she discovers that her sister in the past year is one of the victims of Jack the Ripper. She works in a museum, and she is, learning about the history of Jack the Ripper, and she sees her sister's name listed. So she goes back to the older time period and is trying to save her sister. I think Jack the Ripper is such an interesting story, especially because well, I don't know if we know exactly who he was yet. I heard some things that maybe we did find out through DNA, but I'm not sure if that was confirmed. But I just think this whole story is very interesting. So yeah, this book was so well done. I loved the past timeline. I loved the more modern timeline. I loved the friendships and the family dynamics through this book. I loved the faith elements in this. It was so well done. I cried in this story. I kind of wish I could read it again for the very first time. There were a few slightly creepy elements to this, but it was not scary. Even though Jack the Ripper, a story featuring Jack the Ripper, sounds like it would be a scary book, it was not scary, at least for me. I really recommend it. I loved it, and now it makes me want to go and read some of the other books in that series. It really redeemed that first book for me. The next one I picked up was The Birds and Other Stories by Daphne du Maurier. This was basically the birds and her short story, Don't Look Now. I listened to this, so it was those 2 stories on the album or whatever. The Birds I have read before years ago, and I've seen the movie. The book and the movie are very different. So if you've seen the movie, the book would be a brand new experience for you. It's a very short story. It took me about an hour to listen to The Birds and to listen to Don't Look Now. So very quick. The Birds is about this like phenomenon that takes place. It's taking place in England, but it is also going on, I believe, in the rest of the world. And it is about this family that lives on a very small farm in England, and they start noticing flocks of birds and just hundreds and thousands of birds showing up and just kind of hovering around, and then the birds start attacking people. There's not a whole lot to this story. I really liked the story until the very end of it. It's open-ended, and I don't like that at all. I don't want to have to imagine what happens next or how something ends. That's why I'm not an author. I don't write stories because I'm not creative. I want to be told how it ends. So yeah, I liked it, but then I didn't. Don't Look Now was incredibly interesting. It really felt like an episode of The Twilight Zone. It had this kind of eerie, creepy sense to it. Yeah, I really liked it because I do really like Twilight Zone and stories like that. Again, it was very short, but it was about this husband and wife. They had a daughter. I want to say she was 5 or 6, and she passes away. And the wife is really struggling with this, so the husband takes her on this trip to Italy. And while they're in Italy, they come across these 2 old ladies. One of them is blind. And the old ladies go up to the wife and claim that they can see her daughter and that her daughter is happy and to not be sad. And then they start kind of prophesizing things to the wife. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but there is a huge twist at the end of this that I did not see coming. I did not know where this story was going, and it kind of was like, whoa. I'm shocked. So I really did enjoy that. I thought it was really good. There is also a movie for this. I haven't seen it, but I want to watch it and see how similar it is to the story. Together, I gave those 4 stars. The next one I read was Miranda Warning by Heather Day Gilbert. Heather Day Gilbert is a Christian author who writes like cozy mysteries and thrillers. She has been hit or miss for me. This book I gave 3 stars. Again, I really liked this book in the beginning. It started out so well. It is a thriller, suspense, takes place in West Virginia, and it takes place right next to the town of Point Pleasant, which is known for the Mothman. Mothman is a cryptid like Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster, and Mothman is, the legend is he showed up in the town of Point Pleasant, and he's kind of, he either gives warnings that some kind of disaster is going to happen, or people don't really understand what he is. They think maybe he's an alien. There's all sorts of things, but my daughter was fascinated with Mothman growing up, and I actually took her to the Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant, West Virginia years ago, and we had such a good time there. It was a lot of fun. So I really liked this, that this book had that setting. The main character walked around Point Pleasant, and she talked about all the, like the Mothman elements and stuff, and I knew what she was talking about. So I just really like that. It also takes place this time of year. So I'm going to say it took place in November because there was Thanksgiving and Christmas featured in it. So it's really good for this time of year. Again, I really like the beginning, but then it started to veer off into one of the characters. I started to wonder, wait, does she have schizophrenia? And you guys know I do not handle that well. I don't want to read books that feature that. It wasn't specifically said that this character has schizophrenia, but she was having hallucinations, and the way she was behaving makes me think that's what was going on. There was also miscarriage and talk of abortion in this story. This book was very heavy for me. It was a bit too much. The writing was good, and the setting was good, but it was just a bit too much for me. So yeah, 3 stars. This is a series. I would like to continue on with the series because I'm sure she's not going to have a schizophrenic character in every book, and I would like to give it another chance, so we'll see. The next book was The Sugar House Inn by Serena B. Miller. I wanted to do a complete 180 with what I was reading. I really needed like a palate cleanser, something very sweet. This is, I don't know if it's labeled as an Amish romance. There are Amish characters in this, but the main characters are not Amish. The main character is related to Amish people. I really enjoyed that. You got a really nice mixture of you know, just regular people and daily life, and then the Amish aspect to it of how they were living and the kinds of things that they did. And I loved the characters in this book. They were so wonderful, so warm, so caring, so kind. The kind of people I strive to be. I just really enjoyed these characters. I picked this up also because the cover of it had very strong fall vibes, so I thought there would be a lot of fall elements in this book, which there were none. So I do want to put that out there. If you're getting this book because it has fall vibes, it does not. I don't think it even mentioned what month it took place, but it's about a father and a son, with a father with a young son, and they are escaping from something, and they are driving across America, and the truck breaks down in this little Amish town, and they get taken in by these three Amish ladies. And there is mystery to this story, there's romance. Like I said, it's just very sweet. I really liked it. I thought it was pretty cute. I gave it 4 stars, and I would recommend it. I think, yeah, this is part of a series also, and I would continue on. The next one I read was Autumn and Alibis by Jules Matschel. I think that's how I say her name. I'm sorry. I gave this one 5 stars. This one I actually got from the author. She wrote me an email and asked me if I would be interested in reading her book because it's a cozy mystery with very strong fall vibes. When I saw the cover, I was like, yeah, I want to read that. And this probably has the strongest fall vibes of any book I've read besides The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Like, we're talking the food, the drinks, the setting, the sights, the sounds. Everything about this book is fall. It is dripping in fall, and I love that because I can't get enough of it. So it is about a woman who lived in Atlanta, and her aunt passes away and leaves her bookstore in Michigan, maybe? I don't remember where it is, somewhere up north, and it's in a town called Fall, and the whole town does everything like fall year round. You know how there's some places that do like there's North Pole Alaska, and the whole theme of the town is the North Pole. It's like that, but they do it for fall. And so all the stores are like fall themed and have fall names, and there's fall baking, fall cooking. It's just, I can't get enough of this. But this girl shows up to take over this bookstore, and her aunt had collected quills, like writing quills, and one of the quills is missing, and a murder takes place, and they have to solve the murder. There is no romance in this book, just friendships, really nice, cute friendships, and really great characters. It was very clean. There was nothing in this book. I mean, there's murder because it's a cozy mystery, but there was no cussing, no kissing, no romance, no nothing. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Gave it 5 stars. And I think the next book comes out in December, and I will definitely be reading that. The next one I read is the best book of the month. I closed the month out with a book called Afflicted by Fela Ott. And I wrote on my note here, all the stars. I gave it all the stars. This book is a spiritual warfare book set in Salem during the witch trials. And it uses spiritual warfare with like angels and demons on how demons could affect these young girls to cause this hysteria to where they are claiming all of these people are witches. So it goes through like from beginning to end, how the girls started talking about people in the town, and how the witch trials got started, and then what happens with the people who were accused of the witchcraft. I sobbed like a baby in this book. This book wrecked me, but it was so good. I love historical fiction, especially when it is done this well. I was hooked on this story. I could not wait to pick this book up and to continue reading it to see what happens. I have a vague understanding of what happened with the witch trials, but I didn't fully understand. I didn't know, you know, who gets convicted and then what happens to them after this goes through that with you. It was a journey. It was gut-wrenching. But the faith element in this story, guys, the faith. There were so many quotes I was highlighting on my Kindle. I want to remember these quotes. Just, the faith elements alone. It was absolutely fantastic. I can't say enough good about this book. If you like This Present Darkness or The Screwtape Letters, or there's another one where the teenager can see demons. He sees like people wearing chains. If you know what you know, I can't think of the name of it. But if you like stories like that, spiritual warfare, where demons are, you know, trying to get us to do things, this is the book for you. Absolutely amazing. Please read this book. She writes other books. I will be reading her other books. I think her writing is just top tier. Okay, so those are the books that I read in September. This is awfully long video for me. I don't normally have a video this long. Anyway, I wanted to share some Christian bands with you guys. So I grew up on 80s hair bands and 90s grunge and alternative rock, right? So I was not a Christian. I didn't live like a Christian growing up. I listened to all secular music and very hard rock music. And so now that I'm a Christian, and there's so much secular music out there that I just cannot listen to anymore. There's so much that comes on the radio, and immediately I have to turn it off. I just feel this ick when I hear it. And I have been kind of desperate to find music that will, you know, replace what my old music used to do for me. But every time I try religious stations on the radio, it's just not my kind of music. They play, I don't even know what kind of music it is, like elevator music, pop music. I'm not sure. Not my kind of music, not rock. That's not what I'm hearing on the radio. Maybe they do play it sometimes, but whenever I turn it on, that's not what I'm hearing. So I just discovered this band and I put it into Spotify, and from that, it gave me all these other bands that I just have fallen in love with, and I have been listening to on repeat because it's like hard rock / metal. If that's not your thing, I don't know what to tell you, but I love this music. So the bands are From Ashes to Glory. The first song I heard from them was Break the Silence, and that was the first one that really got me going. I heard that song and I was like, wait a minute, this is Christian. I can listen to this. This is okay. And the lyrics are so good, but it has that beat and the drum and the guitar. It's so good. I'm just in love with it. So yeah, I really recommend From Ashes to Glory. I've listened to so much of their music now. Love them. The next one is a band called Holy Name. This one was really fun for me to discover because one of the guitar players in this band is from the band Korn. So if you listen to secular music like I did, you would know the band Korn. It was one of my all-time favorite bands. And to know that this guitar player, he became a Christian and now he plays in a Christian rock band. I think he also plays for Korn still, but he plays in this Christian rock band. Love that. This one sounds different from Ashes to Glory. This one has more of a mellow sound to it. The main singer, I want to say he's Eastern Orthodox, and he has this kind of like chanty kind of sound to it. But there's still a lot of like rock elements in it. My favorite song from them is Fall on Your Knees. I just listen to that over and over and over. It just kind of repeats the same like 3 sentences in this song, but I can't get enough of it. The next one is a band called Invictus, and my favorite song from them is King of the Last War. This is the song that I would imagine that God's warrior angels like Michael and Gabriel, they will come out to this song when they are battling Satan. Like, this is a battle song. and it makes me want to go to war. It gets me all pumped up, and I'm like, yeah, let's go fight some demons. Like, it just gets me all excited to like be on the winning team. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on the winning team. Like, I'm on the team that won. Love it. So yeah, Invictus is so good. Anyway, those are the 3 bands that I have just discovered. If you like rock or metal or that kind of vibe, check them out. I will leave links for these videos down below if you're interested. If you have other bands that are similar to this, if you listen to this kind of music, please share those with me. I'm so happy. My heart is so happy to finally have music again. Music that is just filling my soul. It's so great. So anyway, yeah, this is the longest video I've done. It's so long. Anyway, this is my September video, all the stuff that I have read and enjoyed in September. I don't know what October is going to look like for me, how much reading I'm going to be able to get done, because we're moving this month. We have completely sold our house in Tennessee. They closed on that a few days ago, so that is gone. But we are still closing on the new house that we're moving to. We're still packing up, doing all the things, and we're moving at some point this month. So all the prayers. I need all the prayers because it's a lot. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys. I hope everybody is having a great month so far, and I will see you soon. Bye.